Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Monday to you. It is 9 a.m., 10:19, and we are live on the radio with the hashtag SBTV Nation, flying high. And I got my boy, the Dream, on the line. Kid, what's going on out there, man?
What's up, Bad Hat in the house? What's going on, people? A rough day yesterday.
I know, man. Well, the New York Metropolitans ended up getting the job done last night in the freezing cold. Dude, it is nasty up here in the East Coast right now, man.
Son, I had to turn my heat on, which is ridiculous because for those of you that don't get it, some of you don't. On the East Coast, we have to pay an oil bill to heat our homes, and it's like an added bill out of nowhere that just blows you up for 6 months. So you try to wait as long as possible.
Yes.
Before you turn the heat on. But guess what? The bridge was over last night as we had to turn the heat on. I got young kids and my dudes had to have the heat, so I already had to turn the heat on. So I'll be getting that experience of paying that oil bill, which I hate.
No doubt, man. Yeah, and I like sleeping with the window open, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're like an ice cube, man. So, you know what I'm saying?
Well, see, you know what? I like the cold for sleeping, but the change, it takes my body to adjust. I'm real nasally already this morning. You guys might hear me. I sound crazy. I got the sniffles. So I just have to say excuse me for that. But, this is what I love, though. I go to the computer, right? I turn on the computer. They talking about global warming in the Arctic.
Not happening, man.
I'm like ready to put my foot right through the computer. I'm like, stop it. Global warming. It's the coldest it's ever been here.
Oh, I feel you, man. I totally feel you. Definitely. So, and it was snowing a little bit yesterday at my kid's game, man.
Snow yesterday. They're talking about global warming. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh, definitely. Guys, it is Monday morning, and we are sitting here. We are going to play a little Monday morning quarterback to have a conversation about everything that transpired yesterday. And we're going to talk about tonight's game and what is going on as far as Philadelphia and the New York Giants, which is going to be cold out there as well. And we're going to talk some MLB playoffs, a little bit of NHL, and get this whole show going, man. So what do you want to do, Dream? I mean, hey, the New York Mets got all over Arrieta last night in the first inning, man.
No doubt. Thank God for that. I was on that here. I mean, with listening to Dr. Dizzle yesterday, so I kind of was feeling him with that, and that was a great pick by him, great call.
Oh, absolutely, especially when they were in the plus. I mean, they were an underdog last night, pretty heavily, situated as an underdog last night. So once you were at 3-0, guys, you were in pretty good shape, man, because Syndergaard was lights out. And Dream, I keep trying to say, man, that rotation is nasty, and that home field advantage out there in Citi Field is pretty exciting. And when you got now you got to go again. Now they're down. The Cubs are down 2-0, and you got to go face DeGrom.
No doubt.
That is going to be pretty exciting, man, to watch. So there's a chance that the Mets could be up 3-0 at the end of the DeGrom game. So everybody that's a Mets fan, congratulations so far. We'll see what happens. You still got 2 games left you got to win, though. And this Cubs team at home is pretty tough. So we'll see what ends up happening with that, and we will go from there. And tonight is the other one, man. We got the Kansas City Royals coming into Toronto, and Toronto is down 2-0. But has a couple of home games coming up, man. So we'll see what ends up going on with that. I mean, the Kansas City Royals did beat David Price the other day.
Yep.
So...
And my man Shy Picks wanted us to talk about the Cubs, and so we are.
Yeah, we are. We're talking about them, all
Big
right,
ups,
man.
as we are now talking about the Cubs.
We are talking about the Cubs, man. So we'll see what ends up happening. I don't think they're going to get swept. I think they're going to win at least a game or two. But I think the New York Metropolitans are meaning business, man. So we'll see what goes on with that particular matchup, and we will have that conversation later in the show about tonight's particular game and see if we can pick a side or kind of figure out how many runs are going to be scored in the game, Dream.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, guys, we are on Twitter right now at SBTV Nation and SBTVNation.com. So if you could retweet our show, we would very much appreciate it. We already got a bunch of people on here this morning rocking and rolling with us and flying high, kid. So let's get right into what happened yesterday, because there is definitely some underdogs
No, it's the usual, and I love the NFL, man. The NFL, I tell you right now, it's just sometimes I can't figure out. You know, we really should honestly try to go get NFL money, like go work for the team. Because there's some cats that I honestly shake my head and scratch my head about. Now, here, the first team I gotta pick on right now is your boys, the Miami Dolphins. Now, I know they got the win, and that's dope, and I'm happy for them, you know, getting their win. But the head coach, like, on the sidelines, like, he did this big thing, and it was a big announcement that, like, only he would listen to one of the assistant coaches.
Yep.
So, during the game, the coaches just look so crazy. You got the assistant coach running to him, telling him when to take a timeout. He takes a timeout with 11 seconds left in the first quarter, like, for no reason. Okay? For no reason. They want to take a timeout on like a 4th and 3 to come out and try to get everybody to jump off sides. It's like the stupidest timeout ever. Even if the announcers are killing him, I'm wondering, why the heck did he take the timeout and waste it? All right. Then he didn't want to challenge the play. The guy had to run down and tell him to throw the challenge. Like, I'm like, all right, dude, look. I know it's cool trying to let the other guys know that they're in with you and it's a group. We're all going to do it together. Have them fall back and make the decisions, please. All right? I mean, it's like you got the head coaching job, but don't act like it's me that just got the head coaching job. You've been coaching and around coaching forever, so you should know what you're doing.
Well, they did win very big yesterday.
Yeah, they did win, but it was, I mean, come on. It's Tennessee, dude. Stop.
Tennessee in Tennessee. So, hey, whatever, man. Hey, you know what? I like to see somebody emerge, you know, that just takes over at the head coach position. So,
Miami's problem was not their head coach.
You don't think so, huh?
No, come on. Really? Stop.
Son, he had no emotion, though, man. Filming was a mess.
Miami's problem was not their head coach.
All right.
Matter of fact, all these dudes, listen, when you lose, like right now, the Jaguars, it's not their head coach's fault. Head coach ain't out there dropping balls, you know, throwing interceptions. That's not the head coach's fault. You're not telling me none of these teams in the NFL, their head coaching is not the problem. The head coach.
You know what, man? I've been there. I know what it's like there's some times where you get out coached, man. You know, I
didn't say that they can't be out coached, but I'm saying as far as their gameplay on the field, it is not the head. You're not telling. There's a few, and there's been some situations, but there's very few situations where the head coach isn't preparing you. Now, how you execute on the field, that's on the players, but the head coach prepared you to execute. That's my opinion.
All right. Well, that's your opinion. I got a little different side on that one, man. But anyway, let's go right down the list and have a conversation.
The reason I can say that is because if you look at a lot of head coaches, you look at head coaches that weren't successful with other organizations, but successful with other. I mean, Belichick stunk before he got to the Patriots. Yeah. Now he's a coaching genius. Why? Because of the talent and the players are executing better in New England. You know, you give him a Hall of Fame quarterback, and now he's a genius.
Well, I could see both sides. I could totally see both sides. I do see you definitely need the talent, absolutely, because if you have, you're just out talented. I totally understand that. You know what I'm saying? If you can't hold blocks and
let me ask you, what coach had a Hall of Fame quarterback and didn't win and wasn't successful?
Which coach had a Hall of Fame quarterback and wasn't successful? Very interesting question.
I don't think we can. I don't think you can even name one. You know what I'm saying? You can't even name one. I mean, unless you want to say that the Bills, losing 4 Super Bowls in a row, that's not successful. But I consider that success because you made it to the Super Bowl. But you can't name any coach.
Well, Shula won a Super Bowl, but he had Marino and never won one.
This is true, but he went to one with Marino.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's still, as far as if you make it to the Super Bowl, I'm still considering you successful. That's what I'm saying. You can't do it. You're not going to name me any coach that's successful. He had a really incredible quarterback.
Right, man. Right. Hey, dude, your boy Lamar Odom is talking now and everything, man. So I wonder if he's letting anybody know about his little experience that he had.
Mark tried to say he don't remember nothing. Like he forgot, along with Tacoma, his memory is gone, and he had lost his memory 2 weeks prior to checking into the party.
What do you think the conversation was with Chloe when he woke up?
She was like, yo, I'm glad you came out of your coma. The attorneys will be here in like a half hour. I'm going to rap with you. Bye.
About to put you back in one.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you're still alive and with us, but now I'm going to make the next 2 or 3 years of your life hell. Bye.
Yeah, right.
So you're going to feel like you're back in a coma playing me at the party ranch, and then you passed out there so everybody in the world knows about it. You got me looking like a bigger fool than I already am.
Oh, absolutely, man. So we had a little fun with that yesterday. Now that we know that he is coming to and nothing bad is going to happen to him. So now is the time when the jokes start, man. So
something bad is going to happen to him.
Yeah,
the
right.
divorce attorney's going to show up. Lamar probably didn't have no money anyway, though. So
ain't
actually,
like Chloe needs his loot.
Probably, because trust me, that little shortage they at the Bunny Ranch wasn't exactly cheap.
No doubt, man. No doubt. All
Lamar
right.
said, let me check in for the short stay. Could you imagine most cats going in there trying to get in there for like an hour, half hour? They're like, okay, how long you want to be here? Lamar's like, I'll take 2 weeks. I'm gonna lay up in here for 2 weeks.
Just running through everything, man.
You know?
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm looking for a couple of job opportunities, so I'm gonna need to stay here for like a month.
What's the under over on the amount of companions he had in that time?
Oh my god! I still think the funniest thing though is the girl that came back to the room like with breakfast, and Lamar was looking like he was dead up in Applebee's. She dropped everything, the tray, the tea, this coffee, everything got dropped on the floor. She ran and got the head chick. It was like, yo, I think this cat is dead.
Oh, man, you guys, you knew it was coming, man. You know, once Lamar got out of the coma, that we had to have a little conversations about that little situation, man. So,
and then the matter was in G, because she was like, all right, listen, go get so-and-so, get him to the hospital immediately, call TMZ, get us set up for interviews, and then now you got a new title, as you're putting cats in a coma. You about to be my head girl. I got a girl so good, she'll put you in a coma.
Yes, definitely, man. Wow. All right, dude. So we got to get right into this, man. The Jets 34-20 over the Redskins, man. Fitzpatrick, not a bad day after all. And the Jets were actually down at the first half of this game. They were down 13-10 and came out and went ham in the third quarter, outscoring the Redskins by 17 points. I'm sure you didn't really watch much of this dream.
None of it.
Yeah, Chris Ivory was a fantasy beast. Went absolutely nuts. I think he was the second highest scoring running back thus far. As far, behind Devontae Freeman, obviously. So, pretty good stuff as far as they're concerned with that. And the Jets, hey, they got a pretty good record on their hands, man. They are 4-1 now, Dream.
Yes, they are. And, I was talking to Hat right before the show, and I was telling him that this year, I think you're going to see a bunch of teams, when this playoff thing starts in the NFL, when we get there. And I'm not rushing it, but you are going to see some teams, some low-tier teams come in that shouldn't be low-tiered, and some high-tier teams come in that shouldn't be high-tiered. So the playoffs should be really fun and exciting this year, even though I'm starting to not believe in a couple of teams. I'm starting to fall back and just say that they're not going to be good this year.
You're starting not to believe in a few teams. Okay, and I think I know which one you're going to have a conversation about, but that's going to be when we get into the 4 o'clockers. So we got the I know this is a sore subject for you. I hated this game. I told you guys I don't like this team, and I think you have a feeling that this team is not as good as you thought. The Arizona Cardinals come in and lose to a third-string quarterback, Mr. Jones at the helm for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steelers emerge 25-13 over the Arizona Cardinals. Steelers are 4-2 without Big Ben, Dream.
Dude, 475 total yards the Cardinals had. They outplayed them. They had the ball more than Pittsburgh had. But the 3 turnovers and the 9 penalties in the NFL, they had 9 penalties for 111 yards, player.
Ouch.
Listen, when you cannot turn the ball over like that, and you cannot get penalties like that and still expect to win the game. And at that, they were still right there. No, I am not believing in the Cardinals still. I still think the Cardinals are a good team. I still like their defense. I still like the Cardinals. Unfortunately, in football, and we see this all the time, anybody's been watching football over the years, you've seen it all the time. You've seen a team just let another team hang around.
Yeah.
Every time they get started, like somebody gets a penalty, they get on a nice drive, somebody drops a ball, they have to punt. You know, the rhythm isn't there. They can't ever seem to get it right and get it going. And then out of nowhere, the other team grabs some momentum and gets the win. And being home, you know, when you're on the road, you really need to shore those things up. You can't make those type of mistakes. You know, Arizona, yeah, am I agitated? Oh my God, mad as hell. But I mean, I watched the majority of this game, and you talk about a team that just kept stumbling and messing around and playing. And Pittsburgh did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing other than just take advantage of turnovers in the right spot. And their kicker was dope because he made a lot. You know, made his field goals for once, which was the exact
six
opposite.
Field goals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I'm still not ready. I'm still there with Arizona. I still think they're a good team. Pittsburgh just got one. They got this one.
Yeah, and they executed. They did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
Carson Palmer, man, 421 yards and 1 touchdown in that game, man.
I mean, in the first half of that game, they held Pittsburgh to 3 points. Okay, right. I mean, Pittsburgh was just like it was like 3 and out. They were like at one point, I think they only did a 2 and out. They didn't even let him do the 3. And at one point, Hockley sent Vic over to the bench because he said, "You stink so much. Go over there and see if they can get the backup ready."
Your boy Hockley, man. Oh, unbelievable.
No, let me stop. But no, they were bad. I mean, Pittsburgh. Listen, look, it happens. Sometimes you can get, you know, sometimes Trent Dilfer got a Super Bowl. That's all I got to say. I mean, sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Absolutely, man. Good morning to Frank Vinculato. How you doing out there, buddy? And everybody that's on Twitter this morning at SBTV Nation. Thank you very much for everybody retweeting our show so far. We got the one of the most boring games of the day, but we did discuss that we thought the Minnesota Vikings would emerge in this particular matchup. Don't know what's going on with Kansas City, man. I mean, Jamal Charles being out of the lineup is just – and their backstream, I really thought that Niall Davis and West would have a pretty decent game because I thought that they would run the ball quite a bit, and both of them stunk, man. They could not run the ball versus the Vikings. Chiefs are 1-5, and the Vikings are now 3-2 and 3-0 at home, winning 16-10 over the Chiefs and covered their spread. Alex Smith, 282 yards, 1 touchdown, but only managed 10 points in the fourth quarter total. They were shut out the first 3 quarters of that game, man. And Adrian Peterson, 60 yards on 26 carries, not terrible.
Dusty. Because he cost a fortune, I know, I'm not even in the daily stuff, but I know he cost a fortune on that.
You guys, fantasy football owners with AP on your team are pretty upset with his performance.
No doubt, because guess what? He's on my fantasy team, but not my daily team, my regular team, and I'm already thinking about packaging him up and sending him out there or putting him on the bench because nobody probably even wants him. Now, talk about a team that I'm all done with. I'm all done with the Chiefs.
Oh, absolutely.
Chiefs are 1-5. That's it. I got no more hope, no more faith that they're going to bounce back and bounce out of it and whatever. I'm a wrap with them. I don't know what happened to them, but it's a wrap.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we thought the Vikings would win that game. And
yeah, we did.
Very good call on your part on this game with the 6-0 Bengals, man. 6-0, 3-0 away now. 34-21 over the Bills. The Bills are 3-3, 500 team, 1-3 at home.
Dude, you know what, man? I'm telling you, I really like – the reason I was up on this game is because I really like the Bills team, what they showed me at the beginning of the season. Okay. All right? I was really impressed with them at the beginning of the season. And then right after the Patriot game, I don't know. It was like, like the Patriots kind of took the life out of them. Now, I know they were a little bit banged up, a little bit. But right after the Patriot game, I just noticed a difference in their defense. I kind of saw a little bit of it in the Miami game. Of course, they did beat Miami 41-14.
Right.
But just defensively, I noticed that there seemed to be a little bit of struggles with your defense and not being as good as had touted it, or at least thought it was going to be.
Yep.
And then they lose that game to the Giants. They played week 4 against the Giants. And that was a game that kind of opened my eye up to them as, hey, you know what? This team's defense is not as good as I thought it was. Because I thought their defense was really, really good. You know the other problem with the Bills? Now, here's you go with maybe a coaching issue. Now, this is something that you can talk about with coaching. They get a lot of penalties, and they get dumb penalties.
Yep.
And the players feel, Rex kind of goes out and he kind of backs his guys up while they're playing hard. But some of their penalty issues are not addressed. And I heard this week 4 against the Giants, and I didn't really make a lot of it. But I'm making a lot of it now because it's absolutely on point. A lot of people were saying in the media that, Rex wants to be, cool with the team and, like cool with the guys and not really making him own up for their penalties.
Yep.
And not with the fines, the fines and all that when you make a penalty. And he needs to be on this team to get him more discipline. And you know what? They're dead right because that's coming to fruition right now.
Oh, definitely. Well, it's crazy that he's backing the guys up because you remember when we watched the Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills game when he was so agitated with the penalties at the end. He was ready to throw his headset off and you could just tell he was steaming.
Yep.
So now it's like all of a sudden, he's just like kind of not caring, which is kind of crazy.
He cares in the game, but then when he comes out, on the podium and hits and starts doing his talking and running his mouth, he knows, my guys are playing hard. I try and all right, dude, okay. And everybody was like, okay, yeah, let him play hard. And look, now you're losing behind it, But nothing was really helping him with this Cincinnati team. I told you that first of all, they switched over to E.J. Manuel. Tyrod Taylor got injured. That was going to definitely be a problem right out of the gate, which we talked about at the beginning of the show. And I told you this Bengals team, man, a well-coached team. They know what they're doing. They're having one of the best seasons they've ever had. They're off to an incredible start. And they're balanced. This team is very, very balanced, very, very good. The question with this team is, what are they going to do in the playoffs?
Right. Absolutely, man. 6-0 now, the Bengals are. So we'll see what ends up going down with them. Lions get their first win, man, as we talked about yesterday.
No doubt. We definitely were all over that, and it was not pretty, and it definitely was a stomach ache.
Oh, God. Total stomach ache, man. I thought they were going to, be fine at the end, but all of a sudden, ended up going into overtime with Cuddles. Cuddles didn't do so bad, man. And Matthew Stafford was the highest scoring fantasy quarterback there was, and not many people picked him up yesterday, man.
I don't know why. Because I picked up in my league that I do the defenses with. I picked up the Detroit defense just because they were playing Cuddles.
Oh God, they let up 34 points.
Yeah, but I made up. I still got points. It made up for like sacks and others. I got points for other stuff.
Okay, got it. Similar to Denver's defense, I had 17 points with them yesterday because even though they gave up all the points, they had a bunch of sacks and, the whole package there.
They had to pick 6, too.
Yeah, exactly. So the Bears lose 34-37 in that affair, man. So Matt Forte, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, he's a beast, man. It's really tough to defend him. 166 yards and 1 touchdown, and had that big epic catch at the end to set them up beautifully.
But dude, that was his. That's only his. I think that's only his second 100-yard game this season. Though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. No, I know he's been kind of weak. A little bit.
Been murdering
fans.
So. By the way, murdering.
Oh my God! Well, he was probably like one of the. Yeah, he was probably drafted in the first round by most people.
Him and Jimmy Grant. By the way, I got a couple fantasy murderers on a couple of my teams.
Fantasy murderers. That's how I gotta call that, guys.
Serial killers.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, thank you very much for retweeting our show so far at SBTV Nation on Twitter. Thank you very much, and we'll go from there into the next one, which we talked about as well, man. Your boy, 6-0, the Denver Broncos. Tough game at Cleveland, man. Cleveland now 2-4, doing the same thing as they do usually. And Denver kind of dominated this game up until the end and let Cleve come all the way back.
I'm so tired of that. That's like an ongoing storyline in the NFL with the end of the game. And I know, obviously, everybody plays different in the last quarter because the game's almost about to be over. Yep. But still, though, man, I just hate a team that wants to dominate, 3.5 quarters, and then it's like all of a sudden they can't stop anything in the fourth. That's just agitating and annoying. But we expected something like this would go down with Denver. The thing with Denver is, man, Peyton Manning had an awful game.
He did, huh?
Oh, my God, dude. Peyton Manning had a terrible game.
290 yards, though.
Dude, two interceptions or 3?
I'm only seeing 1 TD on my board. I'm not seeing the interceptions here.
He had – hold on, let me see if I got it up.
Well, he only completed about 55% of his passes.
Well, Denver had 3 turnovers. I want to say – I'm not going to say for certain it was 3 interceptions, but I'm pretty sure – I know it was at least 2. I know it was at least 2.
Really?
Yeah, it definitely was at least 2. He had a bad game, man.
I told you, man, his passes are definitely starting to float.
Oh, I said it too. I said it too, and it hurt me the most because that's my guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Peyton Ball had at least 2 interceptions for sure.
I'm just surprised that the defense gave up that many points towards the end there. I'm really shocked at that. We talked about the Houston Texans getting a job done yesterday and won by 11 points, scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter. And emerge over the Jags 31-20 by 11 points. Obviously, they were an underdog in that matchup and won outright. Blake Bortles, another stellar day as far as fantasy is concerned. 331 yards, 3 touchdowns, man.
No doubt.
People have been picking him up and laughing with him, man, surprisingly. Blake Bortles, unbelievable what's going on there. So, hey, big ups to them and the Jags. I don't even know what to tell you, man. 1-5. Any of you fans out there that are Jag fans? I don't know. I mean, I think you're going to get into that stadium pretty cheap with these next couple of games coming up when they are home.
We don't know what to tell them. It's the Jags.
Oh,
so like they used to be in.
Right. And then,
like they Super Bowl.
You know what's more brutal too is that they have to play in London, play the Bills this week at 9:30 in the morning. So we're going to have that game live while we are on the air having a conversation about that nasty game, man. So
they're good. They're good being in London.
They are.
Peyton Ball had 3 interceptions, player.
3 interceptions, huh?
3.
Wow.
3.
Unbelievable.
Had a horrible game. I'm telling you, probably one of the worst games I ever seen him play. Had a horrible game.
They still emerge.
And he still emerged.
Wow. Unbelievable. Clownman Swag just hit me up with that information. Good morning to you, buddy. All right. Next one we have here is the Dolphins 38-10 over the Tennessee Titans. We talked about this earlier, and Total Sports Edge was saying he likes how Miami's coach got them all hyped up. I was at my son's game at 12 o'clock. It ended at 2, so I didn't get to see any of the pregame stuff. But apparently the Dolphins kind of turned it around a little bit. I know that Tennessee stinks. They are 1-4, 0-3 at home. But Tannehill, 266 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamar Miller, another beast on the ground, man, fantasy-wise. 113 yards, 1 touchdown. So, hey, 2-3. I know that they're definitely I don't want to say they're completely out of the division race. I mean, you got the Jets and you got the Patriots ahead of you. But I don't know. I just think that I could see more of a 500. I could see like an 8-8 season for them at the end, as they are used to and accustomed to. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
All right, so next one here. Dream. I don't want to even talk about this. I know you're salty. But we got to talk about the Seattle Seahawks.
Now, see, now I'm ready to talk about firing some people.
All right. Oh, the Panthers and Killer Cam are 5-0 now and 3-0 away. And listen, I know that you hate Killer Cam and all that, but
I don't hate him.
He looked dope, man. I'm telling you.
I hate his antics.
He looked dope.
Stop it.
He was throwing 100 miles an hour, man. Right. He was really accurate, man. I'm telling. And Stewart had a pretty good game. 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't think Seattle is who they. I just don't know.
Listen, I'm telling you right now. The first thing with Seattle. The first thing I really need to do. I really need an offensive coordinator change. I really need an offensive coordinator change. The second thing I need to do with Seattle, is I really need to know where Russell Wilson's at, because all of a sudden now Russell Wilson is starting to look like how I expected Russell Wilson to look 2 years ago when he won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
He's looking like that now, and I don't understand the regression. I don't know what they changed here. Did they get rid of the quarterback coach? Because there's a lot of inside dynamics about these teams that we don't know. Some personnel changes, some people who aren't there anymore that they've made that most of the like we know when they change the head coach. So most of the time we know the offensive coordinator changed, but then we don't know like the quarterback coach or like the other coach or this guy who did this, or Russell Wilson used to have his boy at the games and now his boy got banned because he got picked up for something. You know what I'm saying? We don't know the inside dynamics, and something has changed. I don't know what it is, but something is different. Because if you watch them play and you watch how they are, it's like a complete reverse from where they were. And, you know, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt because they are the Seattle Seahawks and we've seen them be successful over the years. I'm about to pull the plug on him. And one more thing, Cam Chancellor asking for all that loot. By the way, you guys losing these games in the fourth quarter is not going to get you your money.
Son, every game they lost, they had a lead in, I want to say, in the fourth quarter.
You are not going to get your money with the defense giving up points at the end of the game. I just don't get that.
Unbelievable. But
and you know what? Hey, not only every game, they should have lost the Detroit game, too, the same way.
Oh, I know. They should be 1-5. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks, who are an odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, are 2-4 right now. And I'll tell you what, big ups to Gamblu, by the way, for saying that they would be
the under.
Yeah, right.
The
big time.
Under's like that's all. You could go probably cash that.
Yeah,
now.
Right. I think it was under 11.5 wins.
I think that's like statistically. Is that statistically good now?
I think they got to lose one more game for him to be all set with that one.
I'm going to tell you guys something though about Seattle. Seattle's one of those teams though that could end up getting a wild card.
They did it last year, man.
Yeah,
Same exact thing. They didn't,
and be like the team nobody's going to want to play.
No, I agree. I mean, they didn't start off. I don't remember them starting off this bad.
No, they didn't start off this bad, but they were up and down, lost a bunch of games. Yeah, they did that last year. They did.
Right, exactly. So, hey, we'll see what ends
up.
Awful
on the road. They were definitely terrible on the road last year for sure. You know what? Seattle, and I said this too, Seattle did need a good, that team could have used a really good wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I said that. Remember, I wanted Reggie Wayne to go there. You know, Andre Johnson was another guy that maybe could have been available that they could have took a look at. Maybe that veteran, good wide receiver leader that Russell Wilson could go to, in the clutch. They could have used something like that.
I just don't know if Russ Wilson is all that.
I know. I'm there with you, but everybody thought he was all that. 2 years ago.
I would rather you give me him or Cam. I'd rather take Cam all day long.
I'm good with Russell though.
You would rather have Russell?
Yeah, because Russell, by the way, has been to a Super Bowl and won one.
I think you just hate Cam. I think that's I think that's your whole problem. I think you hate him chewing gum on the sideline in between, not doing any homework or any of that.
Cam does think the thing is a joke, right? and I know that, like you said, chewing gum on the sideline, hanging out, not doing home. You see that all day with him. And now with him winning, he just sitting there saying, see, told you I didn't have to do the homework. I'm dope. Look. Acting like me on the sideline. That's why I don't like him, because I know. Because come on, dude. Cam and them, but Russell, listen, I would take Russell Wilson over Cam all day.
I don't know.
All day.
I don't know. I mean, Cam is just so hard to take down.
You don't know? Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl, son.
Yeah, he won it with defense.
But he won. Cam hasn't even gone to the Super Bowl.
All right, whatever. It's a pretty heated debate here between myself and my co-host. But
you think Cam would have won that game against Green Bay last year? Stop it. Come on now.
Green Bay beat themselves in that game.
But Russell, oh my God, you got to do Russell Wilson some credit. Son, stop it. Stop it.
I don't know, man. The way Cam is playing these days, I think he looks a little bit better out there.
I'm going to get you a Cam jersey.
Give me a Cam jersey. All right. Let's see. The Green Bay Packers emerged 6-0, 4-0 at home. I knew this would be a little bit of a stomachache. We talked about it on the show, but I did say that I did not think that they were going to lose, and they've got one of the best home field advantage streaks going on right now. Haven't lost since 2013. I want to say it's definitely up there in double digits at this point. The Chargers are 2-4, man. But the Chargers, hey, they hung in there a little bit with Green Bay.
This is typical Charger football.
Typical Charger football. I totally agree. How about Phillip Rivers? 503 yards, 2 touchdowns, Stream. On a losing effort, only scoring 20 points.
Like I said, typical Chargers football.
Unreal.
Typical Rivers numbers. That's why everybody thinks Rivers is dope.
Yeah, right. Good point. But when you throw for 503 yards, I mean, come on. You have to win those games.
He gets down like that a lot, where he throws for, not 503, but he does throw for a lot of yardage. because they're usually down, so you
Yep.
got to keep throwing. And, you know, but it's all for nothing.
All for nothing, exactly. So now you're 2-4, you're 0-3 on the road, and a lot of guys are probably frustrated with Eddie Lacy on your fantasy teams. I know he's got the little ankle injury and all that, but they're just not – he's not really performing, man. James Starks is emerging and is probably going to end up getting most of the carries from now on, man. James Starks, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. Just seems like they're it's a combination of Eddie Lacy just kind of, still not being 100% healthy, but they're also zeroing in on Lacy. So, that's why they brought Starks in, and Starks is doing a pretty good job, man.
Not only that, all these teams that have, multiple threats and Green Bay, a lot like Denver was last year. You see these teams over the years, they can beat you so many ways. So everybody's getting a piece. So the only guy that's really going to be dope is the quarterback because he's, the pioneer of it and he's generating it. The other thing, speaking of fantasy guys, there's a couple of guys out there that you guys might want to take a look at. Malcolm Floyd for the Chargers, also the Floyd for Arizona. I believe it's Michael Floyd for Arizona. Those are some 2 guys that I noticed, are out there. And I'm talking about not the daily fantasy thing. I'm talking about fantasy leagues.
Oh, okay.
Those guys are hanging around out there on your free agency marker and are probably better than some of your starters that you have. And you're starting to also pick up. I actually picked up Michael, and I meant to talk about it yesterday on the show. I picked up Michael Floyd and started him yesterday. I got a touchdown out of him right out of the gate. He helped me actually win in one of my fantasy leagues this week. But these 2 guys are hanging around out there in that free agency pool. I would expect them both to pick up over the next few weeks. So you might want to look at picking up one of them and maybe dropping, somebody you got hanging out on your bench that you're trying to just hang on to. I don't know about you guys. Mike Wallace is one of them guys. He's the one receiver for Minnesota Vikings. It's probably not going to pan out, as far as for fantasy numbers to be dope.
I think Eddie Lacy you might want to consider benching for a little bit here.
Yeah, you think with Eddie Lacy, unfortunately, he's somebody you got to go with. You can't. I know. There's a few guys like even AP. There's a few guys you kind of get stuck with because and I know the minute you let that guy go,
of course,
somebody else picks him up and he goes ham.
Right, exactly, exactly. So the Packers are 6-0 now, Dream.
I know, and they're dope, and I like them, but I really like them. I do like the Packers. There's nothing bad I can say about them. All I want to say is I do love James Jones, who I talked about.
Absolutely.
Beginning of the season. Oh, my God. James Jones has turned out to be such an addition, and the Giants letting him go. And now looking at their wide receiver core, which is decimated. I mean, just
crazy, right?
Can't figure it out.
How about the Baltimore Ravens 1-5? San Francisco 49ers beat them. Cap had a pretty good game, man, and 49ers are 2-4, 2-1 at home. Flacco, 343 yards. Flacco's another one kind of like Rivers. But he did win a Super Bowl, so you got to give him that at least.
So you give him the nod over Rivers.
Yeah, so you got to give him definitely the nod over Rivers. But I got to be honest with you, man. I watched the Ravens at the end of that game just kind of walk into the huddle, walk into the line. No sense of urgency with time running off the clock. Absolutely disgusting what I saw, man. I mean, you got to win these games, man. You're 1-5.
The curse of Ray Rizzle, son.
Ray Rizzle. Got rid of Ray Rizzle, and look what happened. Ray Rizzle's laughing right now.
Bring him back!
Ray Rizzle's all laughing in the background, just hoping that they lose every game, man. San Francisco 25-20 over the Ravens, and the final game that we got to talk about was the New England Patriots, who are 5-0, beat the Colts. And the Colts kind of hung in there a little bit with them, man. Colts 3-3. Andrew Luck, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. LeGarrette Blount, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Blount kills them, man. What did you think about that game, Dream?
The Colts did hang in there a lot in the beginning. The Patriots, got a lot of people yesterday in this game.
Of course, yeah. I mean, he had all that rhetoric about how they're going to score 50, 60 points and blah, 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 blah.
To be honest with you,
I never fall for that.
I kind of fell for it. I kind of thought that they would really want to. I felt that they would want to do it.
Yep.
But I got to be honest with you, beginning of the game, it looked like the Colts more wanted to play the game than the Patriots did in the beginning of the game.
Well,
of course, the Patriots went in at halftime and made the adjustments and came out better. And the Patriots still should have covered this. I mean, they still should have covered their spread in the second half. But yeah, in the beginning of the game, I was really impressed with the Colts offensively. They looked really good. Luck looked good. Any questions about his shoulder should be, done, because he did look really good in this Patriot game. Green Bay to me is the better team
than the Patriots.
Yeah, I think I like Green Bay better.
Secondary bothers me.
Who?
Green Bay's secondary really bothers me.
But New England's whole defense bothers me.
Yeah. Good point. I know, but I mean, you let Phillip Rivers pass for 500 yards. I mean, their pass rush, and that's another thing with Green Bay. Sorry to jump around, guys, but Green Bay's pass rush is not that good. They can never get to the quarterback, man. It drives me crazy. I mean, every once in a while you'll see Clay Matthews get in there or whatever, but they give a lot of time to the quarterbacks to throw. That bothers me, Dream.
The Patriots' pass rush is dusty, too.
Yeah, I was flipping back and forth between the Pats and the Mets game, believe it or not. But Patriots win, and I got to be honest with you, man. Chuck Pagano ran that trick play on the punt. He ran it completely wrong. That's called, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but what happens is you got all your linemen up over center on the ball, right? And what they do is they send about 7 or 8 players all the way to the sideline to line up. It's called the swinging gate, and I think that's what they were trying to do. But in that particular situation, with the potential quarterback, whoever it was at that point, was actually under center. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to give yourself a couple of seconds by lining up in the shotgun. So what ended up happening was, I mean, it was so stupid the way they ran it, Dream, because the way it worked was the Patriots, they left 3 in the box. They sent the rest of the team down to cover the rest of the guys, and then what happened was the guys under center. Obviously, you got a second you got to get the ball. So once the ball is snapped, you got to get the ball and actually grab it, and then kind of fall back. By that time, the Patriots are all in your face. You need to get back a minimum of 4 to 5 yards in that particular situation. What happens is you get the ball in the shotgun, you turn, you step, you throw before the defender gets it to you, almost like a screen. So what happens is you pass the ball to the receiver who is behind a bunch of downfield blockers, and then all of a sudden you've got a sea of blockers ahead of you. It's called the swinging gate. Well, they did it completely wrong, and the Colts looked just as confused as the Patriots in that one.
The Colts tried multiple trick plays.
Yeah, I know.
In that game. I don't know. I mean, I do get it.
Kicks and all that other stuff, and pretty crazy.
I do get it, why you try it and why you go after it, but trying to throw the Patriots off. But hey, it didn't really work. I didn't like the onside kick try either.
I agreed with it to a certain extent.
I didn't like it.
I agreed to it just because they everybody billed them as having absolutely no shot to win it. You feel me?
Yeah, I do. But don't try an onside kick though.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots are moving the ball. I mean, obviously my thing is onside kicks and going for it on 4th downs. Those are for teams with good defenses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If your defense is not good, then you're not going to try that, because if the other team gets the ball, you can't stop them. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the Colts' problem is their defense is not good.
Yeah.
So if you gamble on something like that and you turn the ball over, you're hit.
Yeah, I got it. But the swinging gate, I've actually run that in youth football, and that is a great play, man. Because you could either, if you're in the shotgun and they send all of the other players on the other side, if you have an athletic quarterback, you could just run around and score. It's such a dope play, man. It just throws everything off. And 9 times out of 10, an opposing team will call a timeout because they're so confused in that. And Belichick wasn't shook at all because, like I said, I thought the Colts were more confused than the Patriots in that particular situation. So whatever, it is what it is, and that's the conclusion of Monday Morning Quarterback Dream.
No doubt.
So now we got to discuss tonight's matchup, man, because we've got a pretty interesting game with the New York Giants and your Philadelphia Eagles.
I love they're my Philadelphia. How do I get some of the teams that I get?
Because you love them.
For some reason, the Eagles' matchups have worked out in my favor. For me to like them against most of the opponents that they've played. That's just their scheduling. This game to me, once again, I do like the Eagles. The Giants are banged up.
Yeah, big time.
Big time banged there's up. No Victor Cruz. All right, he's out. Now, I know Beckham is questionable, but we saw Beckham on the sideline last week with a hamstring. Guys, the hamstring injuries, that could come back like at the very beginning of the game with the first route, or it could wait till, the middle of the game or the end of the game. You don't know when that's going to creep back in, but it can creep back in, and then maybe it won't. But it definitely can be there, so it's something that we got to watch. Randall was another guy who had another hamstring injury as well. Left last week's game, like in the fourth quarter, at the beginning of the fourth quarter. So, that's just to let you know the state of the wide receiver crew.
Absolutely. And the Giants have one of the worst pass defenses in all of the NFL. So, that's why that was my reasoning behind grabbing Sam Bradford as far as a fantasy quarterback in this particular situation. But, considering the fact that I had Niall Davis just absolutely unperformed for the Kansas City Chiefs, I think I'm not going to place in that particular contest. So I'm a little upset about it. But, hey, it is what it is. And, hey, you never know. Maybe Bradford and my tight end will have a really, really great game tonight. So, actually, I think I have the receiver. I got to take a look at it and go
Matthews?
From there. But, yeah.
I love Matthews. I think he's a good receiver. And the Giants are also banged up in their secondary. Giants are coming in this game. They're limping in. But the thing with Philadelphia is Philadelphia cannot have that slow start that they seem to always have.
Right.
They do need to get, and I'm not saying they got to go out and score, 21 points in the first half either, but they can't do that, they can't make those early mistakes that they make, week in and week out so far that we've seen. They need to get on. They need to play 4 quarters of solid football. They need to, be careful with the ball. It's okay if you get into a field position exchange with the Giants. That will work, but you cannot turn the ball over. Bradford with the interception. Bradford kills you with interceptions in the red zone, man.
Sure.
He just kills you with those.
Right. Well, the New York Giants right now are number 9 in football with 373.6 yards per game offensively, scoring 26.4 points. So efficiency not so bad with them. Then you take a look at Philadelphia, who is completely different here. Number 22 in football with Chip at the helm as far as offense is concerned. So a little concerning if you're a Philadelphia fan. 339 yards per game and 23.4 points. Now, you go over to the defense. Let's take a look at what they're doing defensively here. Yards per game. Let me just pull this up, guys, because I think this is a pretty important stat when we're breaking down a particular game.
Well, it is. And back to the offense before you flip over there, please keep in mind Dallas, Atlanta, Washington, Buffalo, San Fran for the Giants. Ooh. So keep in mind that the Giants really, out of that bunch, the only real good, the Washington defense is decent. Buffalo's defense is decent. The rest of the defenses are, a little bit vanilla. So keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. And when you look at the defensive side of the ball, you got the New York Giants are number 27 in the entire league. 384 yards per game, allowing 21.8 points. So letting up a lot of yards, but not so many points. And when you look at Philadelphia, number 22 in the league, 376 yards per game, allowing 20.6. But like you said, the New York Giants are pretty banged up in this situation. When you look at the New York Giants as far as their pass yards per game, they are 31st in the league, allowing 304 yards per game, Dream. Unbelievable, man. So I think Bradford, and if Bradford doesn't start off dope, maybe you see a little Mark Sanchez.
I already said that. I've been talking about that. I don't know. I mean, I thought if you were, to be honest with you, I thought they were there last week. Some kind of way, not some kind of way, but Bradford did pull it together, and they did get it together because last week it looked like they were there. They went down in the red zone. I know he threw an interception, and I think they turned the ball over again, and they were off to their typical, bad start. And I'm like, uh-oh. I said Sanchez might be coming in, and they stuck with Mark and let him finish out. So I do think that Mark has a longer leash this week. in this particular game, even though it is a division game. So,
sure.
You got to keep that in mind. The good thing about it is I don't see, even with Philly mistakes, the Giants still blowing them out. You know what I mean?
So, huh?
I could see the Philly making a few mistakes and being able to get away with the mistakes, as I don't think the Giants are going to be able to capitalize. Like you make a mistake against Green Bay, it's like, oh, they're going to score. You know what I mean? Or the Patriots, it's like, look what you just did. They're getting ready to score. Look, you know, that's what you're doing on the sideline. Right. But I think with the Giants, if there's anybody who can get away with making a couple of mistakes, it will be the Giants. But we want Philly to not make the mistakes. In case you guys don't feel it or can hear it in my voice, I'm kind of leaning towards the Eagles just because of the injury state of the Giants. They're just banged up. Yeah, man. And Philadelphia, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but their running back, Ryan Matthews, is questionable with a groin injury. I did know about Matthews' groin injury, and that's bad news because I've talked about it a lot, that I think he's a much better fit than DeMarco Murray. But you know what? Maybe it's as good. I don't know how it works because unfortunately, with Philly, they do need to make a decision on this running back thing. They either need to decide, okay, DeMarco, we know you're not getting us any yards, but we just got to keep giving it to you. And maybe with Matthews not being available, maybe that will come to fruition tonight. I don't know, but they can't. They're trying to work the two in. It doesn't work for them. Got it. And Victor Cruz is ruled out for this, obviously. You know what, dude? I've been meaning to talk about this. Yo, what is Victor Cruz, like, what was his prognosis to coming back? I don't know, man, but he's got a calf thing going on, and Odell Beckham is questionable. I mean, their laundry list of injuries here is no doubt. Yo, my thing is, guys, you know what? I hate to say this, but we know, I don't know what's up with the Giant medical staff. Obviously, we had the firecracker injury over the summer, and they never could find out what was wrong with that. Dude, Victor Cruz's injury, it must be a lot worse than we really know about. Yeah, good point, man. I mean, they definitely don't divulge much information at all. No, and Cruz has been out. I mean, think about how long he's been out, son. Yeah, right. Right, exactly. So, we'll see. I mean, the receiving core having all those injuries, I think might be a little bit of a problem. It's going to be pretty cold out there tonight, guys, just so you know. And but I don't think that's going to really affect Philadelphia. Philadelphia minus 4.5 point stream with an under-over of 50 points. Yep. So, taking a look at this particular matchup, guys, I mean, it's going to be tight. Don't expect it to be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination here. When you look at it, man, Philadelphia on a money line is minus 220. I think Philadelphia wins the game in a stomach ache. As far as the total is concerned, 50 points. I think Philadelphia could put up some points with the Giants' abysmal pass defense. And their run defense is pretty good, so I think they're going to have to beat them through the air, personally. So with the Giants all banged up a little bit, this total of 50, I think it's a lot of points. It may go. You may see like a 24-20 final, something along those lines, Stream. Yep. I don't know what's your opinion on this. It's a tight interdivisional game. It's always been played pretty close, pretty tight. The Giants are definitely limping in, but they will be, they should be formidable. Philly will not blow you out. Right. Apparently, until the end of the game anyway. So I would expect the Giants are going to be there for 3 quarters. And then, it's one of those things like if you can get in there and you can last a bunch of rounds, you got an opportunity at the end of the fight, to possibly win. So I think this game's going to be a little closer. What did Vegas have for the spread again? 4.5, Philadelphia favored with an under-over of 50. I think the thing you have to do, first of all, I'm not really interested in the total too much. But I do have a slight lean towards the under. As far as the point spread, you obviously have to get rid of 4.5 and get that under a field goal. This is definitely probably a field goal game in a lot of cases. This is one of those situations where I honestly think that teaser, a teaser works both ways. You know what I
Got
mean?
it.
If you tease the if you could tease both sides and you could tease the under and the over,
Yeah, I think
either
so.
team, I think it works both ways.
Absolutely, man. I think my prediction here for the final score is Philadelphia 24-20 over the Giants. That's my prediction here for this. And 4.5 just seems like a lot in an interdivision matchup with these two teams.
Yes.
They're probably just taking the number one, home field. Number two, they are taking the injuries into consideration when they set that line. So already looking at a couple of other things, guys. And just real quick, I know we're Dream, we're already like close to 10 o'clock here. But
Yes,
a couple of things on my brain, guys. Well, number one is the updated futures for the NFL. The Patriots are the overall favorite to win the Super Bowl at plus 305, Dream. The Green Bay Packers are plus 325. So you got the 4 undefeated teams as the odds-on favorites right now. Cincinnati Bengals, believe it or not, plus 990. They ain't winning the Super Bowl, though. That's for sure. The Denver Broncos.
I won't go no, that's for sure.
You love the Red Rocket, don't you?
I don't love the Red Rocket, but I am respecting what the Red Rocket is doing. And, sometimes we get so used to seeing something, we expect it's the same, and maybe it's different. You know what I mean? I don't want to be thick. I try not to be thick-headed, and it's like I'm saying, like right now I'm like, okay, Seattle's defense is not that good no more. You know what I mean? They were dope, but now they're not. But maybe this is Cincinnati's top year. I mean, I know we don't believe in it because we just seen the collapse year after year after year.
Yeah.
But that's why you try it again.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why you're back and you're back at it. So
You're-
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Your Arizona Cardinals are plus 1485. Seattle Seahawks plus 1585 right now, man. So is there any value in the Seahawks being 2-4? Yikes. It almost seems like, both of those teams are going to get, one of those teams in that division is going to get into the playoffs, whether it's Arizona or Seattle.
No
because,
doubt.
who else you got in there? You got Kaepernick and who else is in that division?
Isn't it Breezy?
No.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
No. It's Arizona, Seattle, the Niners, and one booty. Oh, the Rams.
Is it the Rams?
Yeah, it's the Rams.
Okay.
So, all right. And
sorry.
Killer Cam, man. You want to get involved with Killer Cam plus 1785 to win the Super Bowl, player? Come on, man.
Go ahead. No, you get involved with
Get
that's
your
your
future
guy.
going to Killer Cam. Those odds stink, man. I mean, it was probably like 50-1 in the beginning. Indianapolis Colts plus 2130, and the Atlanta Falcons are 2275 to win it all.
And that's the thing. The Seattle Seahawks, and you're right, it is Arizona, Seattle, St. Louis, and San Francisco. The funny thing is, Seattle, they're all right there. Seattle, San Fran, and the Rams. They all have pretty much the same. They're all 2-4. I mean, the Rams are 2-3. So they're all right there. So it's not. Don't think Seattle's done.
Here's how it plays out, man. You got Arizona or Seattle wins that division, right?
Yep.
And then they have to go into Atlanta and beat the brakes off Atlanta in
Which
the dome.
we've seen that happen a lot.
You already know that, man. So we'll see what happens, and we will go from there. But
hey, yesterday, man, you know what? It's bad that I didn't have any nerve, and I'm sorry, guys, because I don't know if you were listening, but those of you that were when we went into hockey, I alluded to that the Mighty Ducks were going to get their first win.
oh, they did, huh?
They beat the Wild just today 4-1.
Oh, wow.
I wish that I would have gave it out, but I just couldn't. It was just something I couldn't do, but I really did like the Ducks to get that first win because they're much better than their record. And they sure enough, they got out there and they beat the Wild yesterday.
Kid, I love fantasy hockey, dude.
It's dope.
I won yesterday again, man, with Lundqvist in the goal, man. And there's this guy, Vladimir something. I forgot his last name. He's for St. Lucia for the Blues. He had 9 points for me yesterday, man. Made me just go ham in my league. I finished second place, kid. Laughed. So
Definitely.
I'm looking forward to, getting involved with daily fantasy hockey and going from there.
I think it's Tarashenko is his name. It's Vladimir Tarashenko.
I think so, yeah, for the St. Louis Blues, but he had 9 points.
Yeah, guys, I did look that. I didn't know his last name off the top of my head. I definitely looked that up. And yeah, I am a little bit better with those names than the baseball names.
Exactly. You got a baseball game tonight. You got the Toronto Blue Jays in the Dome, so you don't really have any weather to worry about, but Toronto's putting Stroman on the mound versus Johnny Cueto, man, for the Kansas City Royals. And Cueto had a really good game in his last outing, and the Jays are minus 165 with an under-over of 8 runs. You know, Stroman was not the best as far as, moving forward with that particular matchup when they were against the Texas Rangers. But looking at this now, man, I mean, this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup here tonight, Dream.
Yes, sir.
I think the Jays get the job done, though. I think if you paired the Jays with the Philadelphia Eagles, I think it'd be a pretty good shape. But don't expect it to be easy.
Right.
Expect a little bit of a headache.
Right.
To be completely frank with you. So, and looking at those respective series now, as far as the MLB is concerned, Toronto Blue Jays are plus 205 to win the series, being down 2-0. Kansas City Royals minus 245. And then in the other series, you got the Mets. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Mets minus 450 to win the series, and the Cubs plus 360, Dream.
Okay.
Very interesting. For some reason, I see the Toronto Blue Jays and Mets playing.
I don't know, Blair.
I think so. I really do. I mean, Dan called that about a month ago. I mean, obviously, in the beginning of the season, he called something totally different than that. But, he's looking at the Jays and the Mets to be the two best teams. So we'll see what ends up going down with that. And we got to jump into the ice real quick and have a quick conversation about what's going on the ice, Dream. So let me pull that up real quick, and we will talk about it. Is there only one game? No.
There is.
Just one game tonight, right?
There's one game. It should be the Rangers against, I think, San Jose.
Rangers versus San Jose. Yup, and the Rangers minus 145 with an under-over of 5.
And the Devils beat the Rangers yesterday, and I wasn't really prepared for that. I thought the only thing is I did know the Devils had a bad record, and obviously these teams aren't trying to get their wins. You know how that is, guys.
Yeah.
Teams looking for a win is a lot hungrier. Rangers didn't play terrible hockey, but they didn't capitalize in a couple of situations. Tonight, the Sharks are pretty good. The Rangers are good too. I would stay away from tonight's game. It should be a hard-fought game.
Yeah, right.
I don't really like the side in this game tonight.
I mean, if you look at stats, they're pretty much mirror images of each other as far as stats are concerned. But the San Jose Sharks have the better record at 4-1. Rangers 3-2-1 on the season. Let me take a look at a couple of things here. The Rangers score a little bit less than the Sharks here, averaging 2.33 goals a game, where the Sharks are 2.78, but Rangers are only giving up 2.5 goals per game. So a couple of different situations to take a look at, guys. I agree with you, Dream. I think you stay off the ice tonight, especially with just the one game going. And we'll go from there, man. So that's pretty much it. That does it for the show. That does it for Monday Morning Quarterback and the night game tonight. I think the Philadelphia Eagles win the game. I don't know if they win by 4.5. I think 4.5 is a lot of points in an interdivision matchup when these two teams know each other very, very well. But I think that the Jays and the Philadelphia Eagles get the job done tonight. And I think that's where I'm going, man. How about you?
I like the Philadelphia Eagles. I do not like the baseball game.
You don't like the baseball, huh? With Cueto?
Yeah, I kind of like. I think baseball, man, is such a at this point. I think it's such a mental state. I mean, I think there's something with their psyches and mentally where these guys come from, and I just think that the way K-Sizzle handled that second game, being down for the majority of that game and still came back and won that game. It's like what happened with the Astros almost. I think that mentally just screws these guys up in a sense. I don't know. I will see. You guys know I'm not big into baseball as far as I watch a ton of it, but I don't like to try to make my predictions about something that I'm not as passionate about with my opinion. But I don't like the baseball game, so I'm not getting involved in it. I kind of am slightly leaning on the under, slightly, but I wouldn't play it. As far as the football game, I do like the Eagles, but you definitely have to get rid of that Eagle. You have to do something with their number. I don't know what. So, think in the direction of, obviously, I mentioned the teaser on either way. I think it would work if you tease the over or the under, up or down. And I think the Eagles will work. I also think that you probably could put the Giants in there and it'll work too. I think tonight will be a tight game, hard fought as many games are, interdivisional rivalry games. So just be careful there.
Got you. All right.
Hey, I want to thank everybody that's been retweeting the show. Everybody that's got down with us this morning. Got Yippa82 out there, Lewis Carter, Casano, KMVU, JDH24, Terrence Mack, Buddy, the Dog, Pete for Prez, AB Lint, Jim Romans, the Deuce, Jason Riley, Christos, Direct Sports Solution, Total Sports Edge, MG86, Franklin Collado, Justin Hernandez, Face Kicker, Jay Snyder, Cloudman Swag, Marlon, JC, Sir Mata, Andy Jones, Nick Arestas, Sarat King J, Benjamin Rowe, OJFB, Snoopy Betts, Spot Bet, C. Rodriguez Jr., Rick Lopez, BT, Mario Martinez, Sin City Maverick, and Smokey Rodriguez, just to name a few. Got our people out there in sunny Australia. Average Joe Punter, put a shrimp on the barbie for your boy. Guys, I am the dream. Always remember who you're with and make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
I like the Monday shows, man.
Monday is entertaining, refreshing, and a different change of pace. Oh, big ups to Marlon, too. Marlon yesterday posted a three-team money line parlay. The heavy faves that don't win parlay that everybody talks about can't money line parlay them together. By the way, I tailed them, and thank God, because it saved my bankroll from getting just decimated. So big ups to him for that.
All right, man. All right, guys, we are the biggest show in the world, having an absolute blast every single day. Happy Monday to you. Hope you're all motivated and ready to rock and have a great week. And whatever you're doing out there, man, I hope you're making a lot of money this weekend laughing, because it is what it is, man, and we got to brace the winter and get ready to rock. We love you to death. Go out there, go easy, do your own homework, take your own plays, make all your dreams a reality, and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.